What is going on, everyone? Mets Talk with Hayden J here. What's going on, everyone? I hope we are all doing extremely well. Hope you guys are enjoying your day. I most certainly am. What's going on, everyone? Mets Talk with Hayden here. We got a lot of news to cover with the New York Mets. There has been a lot going on with the Mets. I pretty much jinxed it. I said on Monday, what am I going to talk about in today's stream? And, well, pretty much what came to that? The next day, the news came out with Billy Eppler. Following that, the next day came out with Noah Syndergaard. And then there's been some reports going around at MLB about MLB type of things. But before we get into all of that great news, everyone, please smash that like button, turn on those post notifications. If you are not subscribed to the channel already, please feel free to do so. I appreciate your guys' support on the channel. Channel's been doing good. I appreciate everyone for tuning into the stream as always. I did upload 3 videos just recently this week. One of them was about 3 possible things the New York Mets could do with Robinson Cano. The other was about with Noah Syndergaard. And, of course, the other was with Billy Eppler. But what's going on, everyone? I see we got a couple people in the chat. Connor, Trey, Ice Cube, AB, Karen, Logan, Kobe. Appreciate you guys tuning into the stream as always. Let's stop wasting any time and let's dive, I guess, honestly, right into all the big news that we have with the New York Mets. So let's stop wasting any time. So as we know, the New York Mets officially lost Noah Syndergaard. That is tough. That is the news. As we know, Noah Syndergaard signed a 1-year deal worth $21 million with the Anaheim Angels on Tuesday. As we know, Noah Syndergaard did not pitch for the past 2 seasons, or, well, let me rephrase that. He only pitched 2 innings in the past 2 seasons because in April of 2020, he had Tommy John surgery, which prevented him from pitching. He had setbacks, yada, yada, yada. It was most likely that we all thought that he was going to accept the qualifying offer. I thought it. A lot of people just figured it would have been the most sense for Noah Syndergaard to just simply accept the qualifying offer. It was most likely thought that Sandy Alderson would have thought that. It was most likely that Noah Syndergaard and his agent would have thought that, as well as pretty much any Met fan or really any baseball fan around Major League Baseball assumed that Noah Syndergaard was going to stay on the 1-year, $18.4 million qualifying offer. So that's that. He is no longer a Met. I guess it really comes down to, I don't really know how to go about this. Obviously, we know that the New York Mets and him, we're going to have a lot to focus on going into this season. Obviously, we know that Mets pitching coach Jeremy Hefner has a busy thing under his belt. He has a lot to work at with this Mets pitching staff. And obviously, Syndergaard would have been another guy. He would have been another guy to work with. Yeah. Otherwise, that's really what Noah Syndergaard. We know that in terms of his pitching mechanics, listen, Noah Syndergaard, he only pitched 2 innings this year. I mean, let's take a look-see at his savant. Obviously, we know that there were some concerns with Noah Syndergaard's slider going into this season, simply enough because we know that that was the pitch that he would not really be able to throw a whole lot because of the Tommy John surgery. It would have been very rough on pretty much his arm. So that really would have not been possible for him. We know that he does have more so 3 pitches, the changeup, the fastball, and the sinker. Like I did state, the slider was the pitch that he kind of isn't really going to be able to throw. I mean, maybe for the most part, he'll be able to throw it down the line. Obviously, obviously, I feel he was to an extent he was never a Cy Young pitcher. That's out of the way. But I'll say his value has definitely gone down since the Tommy John. And you know what? You can make that for any argument. You can make that for any pitcher. Any pitcher, you could make the argument, Tommy John, value goes down. Don't get me wrong. There are some cases where it could turn around for guys. I mean, we'll see how Justin Verlander comes back. I mean, he's 39 years old, so, that may be a little bit different for him. But overall, we're just going to have to see how that goes. Yeah. Otherwise, we're just going to have to see how that goes with him. In terms of the Angels' point of view, I mean, it's kind of ironic because the Anaheim Angels legitimately never get pitching. The Anaheim Angels never, ever get pitching. In the last 5 years, they have never really gotten a big pitching staff. They never got Garrett Cole. They never got Trevor Bauer. They never got John Smith. They pretty much never got pitching. So the 1 year they get pitching, it's a Met pitcher. Ironic? I don't know about that. But you know what? It's good for the Angels. Like I stated in my video, the Anaheim Angels only have so much pitching depth. Besides Shohei Ohtani, you don't really have anyone else. I mean, you mainly have a lot of sub-4.5 ERA guys, and that's not really what I'm looking for in a rotation if you're an Angels fan. So, yeah, I mean, that's really that with the Anaheim Angels. I guess it's a good move. I mean, I'm not an Angels fan. They need pitching. For the most part, we've been seeing they're really an offensive team for the most part. I mean, looking at their stats offensively, they really seem to come up. And I mean, imagine what this Angels team could do once Mike Trout returns. I mean, it could really be something. You have Trout and Ohtani together. Definitely very interesting to see. In terms of the Mets' point of view, kind of unfortunate because you know what? The Mets worked with Syndergaard for 2 years. So that's what I really find unfortunate, is that the Mets worked with Noah Syndergaard for 2 years. I'm not saying that we didn't go after certain guys because we had Syndergaard in our custody. The point that I'm trying to make is that we worked with him. So, you know, why just throw him away when you know, the offseason happens? Otherwise, that's really it with Noah Syndergaard. Yeah, kind of unfortunate to see with Noah Syndergaard. Otherwise, that's really all I got. We know that Billy Eppler has had his press conference today. There were a couple key points that I would like to bring up with Billy Eppler and his press conference. He had a long press conference today with Mets owner Steve Cohen and, of course, Mets president of baseball operations, Sandy Alderson. So they had a very long press conference today going over the introduction. Obviously, the Mets pretty much didn't get their ABC or first, second, and third pick. They pretty much got their 108th pick as the general manager. Personally, I feel that, in my opinion, that Billy Eppler is just another placeholder. And, you know, what really starts to upset me about getting all these placeholders in is that it really messes up the teams. It really just messes up what the team is shooting for. You know, it's going to change defensive positioning. It's going to change really just everything. It just really changes everything, I feel, whether that's defensive positioning, certain, you know, whether it's the analytical use, just the GM. It's like if you have a job and you keep getting a new boss every other year, they're going to want different expectations. They have different rules. And especially for sports, it's much more complex. So, I mean, he's with the Mets for 4 years. Hopefully nothing happens to him because, I mean, unless he's like a serial killer or something, hopefully the Mets should be fine. He isn't my favorite choice, and I'm just going to say that. He was not my favorite choice. I would have much rathered a guy like Burns. Burns, I believe, was my number one pick. He was my number one pick. So otherwise, really kind of does suck to see. I mean, overall, I just feel the Mets really just didn't have much time. And, of course, Sandy Alderson was running the team. Sandy Alderson was running this Mets team. He had no one with him. He was pretty much he was doing 75% of the stuff. I mean, he was the manager, the president of baseball operations, the GM. He was doing everything. So, you know, that's really it's really, you know, what I start to think of you know, the Mets president of baseball operations and, of course, the Mets general manager role. So I think it's going to be interesting. I think we're going to have to see how this lands ahead. Obviously, Billy Eppler, I mean, he's a guy from Anaheim. The Angels haven't had a winning season in over 6 years. You know, the connections are to an extent there. Obviously, he does not have many guys, so the connections, I feel, are not there. Otherwise, yeah, I mean, you know, I know you guys don't like Sandy Alderson, and I obviously don't blame you guys. Sandy Alderson is not the right guy. I feel, you know, 20 years ago, maybe he would be, and 20 years ago, he would be a successful guy. But you know what? I feel that Major League Baseball has evolved so much since then that, you know, it's that. Yeah. So that's really it with Billy Eppler. We know kind of some other, I guess, major league news. We know that the Tampa Bay Rays and Wander Franco have potentially been talking about a long-term extension. Wander Franco, only 20 years old, was called up to the major leagues this season, and he really had a great season. He had a very superb season. Really no complaints with Wander Franco. He did have a small little slump. Overall, Wander Franco could be getting anywhere from a 10-year deal, going anywhere from 150 to 200 million. So being at such a young age and getting that type of deal, I mean, that is really something. I mean, let's take a look-see at Wander Franco this season. I mean, he 20 years old, and, you know, you come in to this situation and you just, I mean, it's incredible. We know that the Rays and them are talking about contract extensions. I do want to pull up some of his stats and, you know, stuff about him, I guess. Please stand by for 2 seconds if you guys could. That would be appreciated. All right. So yeah, obviously, as we could see, Wander Franco, he had a great season. Defensively, he wasn't necessarily there. Listen, he'll develop more over time, I feel, as a shortstop. I'm not going to attack him over the defense. 13th percentile in OAA. He has some great speed. This is a dude who could easily, I feel, be in a 2020 club. I mean, he could obviously get more than 20 stolen bases, but this guy can easily be in the 2020 club. I really feel he can have success. I mean, looking at his stats, 308 plate appearances, 281 at-bats, 53 runs, 81 hits, 7 home runs, 39 ribbies, 2 stolen bases, slash line of 288, 347, 463, and of course an OPS of 810. So, I mean, obviously this dude connects with barrels. He can pull the ball. He could hit for the opposite way. He doesn't strike out a lot. He has great eye coordination. I mean, he had a 43, I think, on-game base streak. That is elite. I mean, at 20 years old, being in categories as Brooke Robinson, at 20 years old, I mean, the plate discipline he has at that age is just mind-boggling. I mean, I can't picture him in 4 or 5 years when he has much more experience and he's less of an amateur. I mean, this dude can realistically really be something special. He mashes fastballs, I mean, he just really had a great season. I mean, let's see what else. Yeah, he smashes fastballs. Breaking pitches he's good with. That's always a benefit. Yeah, hits for some hard contact. He'll get some barrels. He hits the ball and has a great launch on it. Not, you know, the power isn't necessarily there. 88.2 miles per hour, the exit velocity. So yeah, I mean, we'll have to see. Hopefully he could develop some power more. You know, just put him in the gym. Put him in the gym. You know, lift a little bit more. And he could most certainly, definitely gain some power, I feel. But yeah, otherwise, that's really it in terms of Mets and Major League Baseball news. Trying to really think what else is really going on. I mean, it's been pretty quiet for the most part. Yeah. So I guess let's get into some comments. If you guys do have any comments, questions, or concerns, please feel free, drop them below. It could be Mets, Phillies, Pirates, whatever you guys want. I'm not a baseball expert. I'm just a baseball fan here who, you know, wants to come on here and express, you know, my opinion, you know, how I feel is going on around Major League Baseball. If you guys disagree with me, you know what? That's awesome. I love it. You know, it's how baseball works. All right, so let's go over some comments. How are you feeling about Eppler? What's going on, Connor? Hopefully you did hear my little explanation. Trey, what's going on? Ice Cube, what's going on, dude? Ice Cube says, opinion on Cy Young and MVP choices. Would ask a bit later, but I got something up tonight. No worries, man. I appreciate you tuning in. Obviously, we did see that Corbin Burns won the National League Cy Young. And, of course, for the American League Cy Young, it was Robbie Ray. Both of those guys were my predictions. I had both of those guys, obviously, making the Cy Young picks. Corbin Burns had an historic season. I think it was like 60-something strikeouts before he allowed a walk. That is awesome. That is, I mean, really awesome. I mean, Zach Wheeler definitely did get some votes. Garrett Cole got some votes. Lance Lynn got some votes. Overall, I mean, kind of really what was expected. I know we thought MVP, obviously, was Bryce Harper, and of course, Shohei Ohtani. Really surprised that Brandon Crawford got 4 MVP first ballot votes. He got more first ballot votes than Trey Turner. Listen, I understand his defense was pretty good. I understand he hit for some pop. But I mean, you know, let's be realistic here. I mean, that's definitely, I mean, a lot. 4 for a first ballot. Yeah, that was a little bit surprising. That was definitely a little bit surprising. But yeah, definitely, honestly, I think it was deserved. Corbin Burns had a great season, no doubt about it. He helped the Brewers get to the postseason. And of course, Robbie Ray, the Blue Jays, they signed him. They didn't think they were going to get a whole lot pitching. Obviously, the Blue Jays, they lacked pitching going into this offseason. And obviously, they acquired Jose Barrios at the deadline. They acquired Robbie Ray in the offseason. Steven Matz was kind of good in the first half. And their bullpen really stepped up. So overall, I mean, it's good because we saw that Hyun-Jin Ryu did not have the best season. And he was supposed to be their ace. If they re-sign Robbie Ray, he is likely going to be their starter, their number 1 starter. Otherwise, kind of what was expected. I think it was pretty good out of them. Overall, really no complaints. I don't think it was, rigged or any of that stuff. AB, what's going on, man? Appreciate you tuning in, buddy. Connor says, how we feeling about Eppler? Yeah, hopefully you did hear that. Trey, what's going on? Hope you're doing good. Appreciate you tuning in, man. LFGM, of course. I mean, I didn't watch all of it, but yeah, I heard it was a pretty good press conference. What's going on? YouTube Productions, Logan, Karen, Gio. What's going on? Kobe, Z Sports Cards, Phillies Talk with Hayden. Yes, sir. Trey says, does this hire shed any light on the manager spot? Any former Angel guys he could have ties to? I'm hoping Beltran is back. That's the thing. I definitely think now that you have a manager in store, you definitely have, how do I word this? You definitely have more of an opportunity. I know that wasn't really too hard to think of. I don't know why. The Mets have more of an opportunity now to go out and make moves. We know that, Sandy Alderson was running the team. He wasn't the GM. He was only the president of baseball operations. He was technically the king of the Mets. It pretty much came to question is that, can you bring anyone in and then you bring in a new GM? Is that new GM going to like, a contract? It's like, you guys get what I'm trying to say. Overall, I think it could definitely shine some light on the manager spot. You're going to have to get one soon because you want to, get that out of the way, obviously. Any Angels guys? Not really. Asmus, I mean, is really the only guy, and I would probably jump off a cliff if he came to the Mets. Yeah, so overall, he doesn't really have many ties. That's the big thing. Stearns, I guess, is the big thing from the Brewers, and that's in 2 years. So, I mean, do you wait for 2 years and then he has a 4-year contract? So his final 2 years, you have Stearns as the president of baseball operations, but then you have another placeholder. I don't know. Overall, it'll shine light, but he doesn't really have many good ties. LFGM, trade for sausages. Good signing by the Angels, and I'm sure Syndergaard will enjoy the 6-man rotation, which gives him an extra day of rest to recover from injury and to get into his rhythm. Good career, just said exit. Yeah, Kobe, I agree with you on that. I mean, I think it was a fair signing from the Angels. My only question is that if he gets hurt, I mean, he's only going to go like 180 innings to 200. Otherwise, you're not really going to get much out of him, I feel. Potentially, maybe, yes, the Angels can make him into the, a bullpen type of spot. Otherwise, you're not really going to get a whole lot out of him. I mean, his velocity could tip up a little bit. I think he's going to have to kind of try to, I guess, relearn, the rhythm to pitch, relearn his mechanics, try to fix himself with the slider. He's going to have to learn how to do that. And yeah, I mean, listen, he had a solid career. He had his moments in the World Series, getting to the playoffs in 15 and 16. He had his times. Yes, he did have a lot of injuries. I get it. Every situation has a bad thing. And he definitely did have some unfortunate things in his career. I get that. It was kind of a sad exit. You didn't really expect it, but you know what? You get a draft pick. Karen, yeah, I agree. Get rid of Kanat. It's fair. John, yeah, I agree with you. I cannot believe he is gone. LFGM, of course. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Ivan Dose, what's going on? Should the Mets go after Zach Greinke? Yeah, to be honest, I'm probably going to decline on that. I mean, how old is Zach Greinke? Zach Greinke is 38 years old. Yeah, I'm probably going to decline on that. I mean, he's not himself anymore. Listen, he's a great pitcher, definitely a second or third ballot Hall of Famer, definitely a great guy. I just don't feel he has much left in him. We see the long ball has been something very hard for him this season, especially in the postseason. He was giving up long ball after long ball after long ball after long ball. So yeah, the long ball has been something for him. Maybe if you put him in a bullpen spot, but then I could just easily see you can only put him in certain situations. Trying to look. I mean, otherwise, he pounds the strike zone well. He has that nice eephus pitch that we like to see. His velocity isn't there anymore. I mean, his fastball's hovering around 92, 93. He limits walks, which is good. He limits the hard contact. He definitely has an arsenal. We know he has that changeup, the eephus pitch that he throws like once a season. Maybe that'll be an annual thing. But otherwise, I'm just going to decline on it. I just think he's too much of a responsibility. If you want him in the bullpen, I can understand that. If the Mets bring back Rich Hill, then you already have your veteran bullpen guy. I'm just going to decline it. I just don't really think there's much of a need to bring in Zach Greinke. I don't know. I'm just going to say that. Gio says, I'm kind of worried about Eppler since he was with the Angels for 6 years, and none of those years he could finish with a winning record. Makes me a bit nervous. Hopefully he gets some pitching. Yeah, hopefully we are going to have to see. I did want to share actually some side notes that I did take about his press conference. Yeah, I agree with you, Gio. I did say that before. Hopefully you heard me say that. That's very true. And I think he will get some pitching. He did state that he wants to get 2 to 3 pitchers this offseason, so we will see. So pretty much some things that was said during the press conference today that I figured were important to bring up. So the first thing is that the New York Mets are pretty much going to be active on the free agent and the trade market. Big surprise. Pretty much Eppler also states he will start the manager search today. He will be communicating with some guys around Major League Baseball, around the baseball community for a manager search. He wants to get the whole group together, Sandy Alderson, Steve Cohen, to try to converse and see what they could really come up with. They're going to come up with a candidate list. So that'll be very interesting to see. Eppler also states he will connect with agents as well this afternoon around Major League Baseball, whether those are some big name guys, some small name guys, and even some of the guys that are from the Mets domestically, Aaron Loup, Javier Baez, Marcus Stroman. So he is going to start that very soon. He also said that he has been starting to get text messages from player agents. So we're going to see. That'll be pretty interesting. And then lastly, that was really it for the most part. We know that Steve Cohen pretty much said on the free agency, I'm willing for the right deals and the right free agents to get the players we need. We want to be competitive. We want to win our division and be in the playoffs and get deep into the playoffs. I've let Billy and Sandy know it's whatever we need. And then pretty much Cohen did state following up by that, he will hopefully be spending anywhere from $85 million this offseason. So yeah, we're going to have to see how that goes. Otherwise, pretty good press conference today. I enjoyed it. Can't believe Syndergaard is an angel. Yeah, me too, man. Me too. Mets get 6 draft picks in the first 2 rounds. I'll take it, especially since MLB had the Mets farm ranked at 22. Yeah, I agree with you on that, man. I do agree with you on that. No big loss on Thor. When you are a win now team, you can't have a rotation spot taken up by a huge question mark. That is true, man. That is very true. Obviously, there are plenty of question marks. You look at the Mets' current roster right now. The only guys you have right now on the Mets pitching roster is Jacob deGrom, Tyler McGill, Carlos Carrasco, and David Peterson. That's it. Peterson is a question mark still. I don't know whether he's actually slumping, if it's injury. McGill's questionable. Can he have a good season? Will he be in a slump? Will he be able to get used to those innings pitched? I mean, DeGrom's one story. He has to stay healthy. And then Carrasco, try to get out of the first inning. So the Mets have questions. If they could bring back Marcus Stroman, that'll be something I am willing to give Stroman a little extra money for him to come back. So, yeah. Mets drag your feet, you snooze, you lose. Yeah, pretty much. I'm going to be sports fan says I'm going to be open-minded. Not my first choice, but let's see what he does with the team manager, coaches, players. Hopefully he works out. He can't be any worse than the two other guys. Yeah, we'll see. We will see. Obviously, right. I'm going to be open-minded. I'm not going to judge him till he actually make moves. In a month from now, a month and a half from now, I'll start to actually form an actual opinion, whether I like him, whether I don't. A lot of Met fans, we have to see how these GMs are. You can get these nobody guys, and they come in and they be amazing. Or you can get the best general manager in store, and he could be terrible with the team. When Brody Van Wagenen came to the Mets in 2018, everyone thought he'd be good. Look what he did. Does this relationship give Trey says from Trey, does the Billy Eppler relationship give WME Group the Mets any kind of edge with free agents? Yeah, I did see that Carlos Correa also is affiliated with them. Otherwise, that's really it. I don't know many other guys, so I do have to do some research on what other guys are with in terms of affiliation. But that's a good question, Trey. I just hope Eppler leaves the farm system alone. Yeah, John, I think he will too. I don't really think he's going to do anything terribly with the farm. The Mets pretty much said that they don't want to do trades this offseason. They want to look more free agents, which definitely makes sense. And you want to go more free agents, obviously, because the Mets farm system was ranked 22. So you want to start taking in guys for the future. And especially look at the Padres, look at the Dodgers. They have the luxury. These teams have the luxury to go out there and get any guy they want in a trade. And they could give up their 80th round, their 80th guy in their farm system, and it literally means nothing. So, that's really why I really want the Mets to start digging up their farm system. I really am. I really want the Mets to start building up their farm system. Don't get rid of it. Brody Van Wagenen pretty much tore it apart. Start to keep it together. Otherwise, yeah, that's all I'm really going to say. What's going on? Baseball's mere. Syndergaard said in an interview that Angels flew in while Mets were distracted. Yeah, listen, I understand the Mets definitely did have a lot of things. The Mets definitely did have a lot of things going on for them this offseason. So, yeah, we're going to see. Do you think the Mets have to give Stroman an extension now that Syndergaard is out? Absolutely. I did state last night and a little bit before, the Mets have to go after Marcus Stroman aggressively, I feel. Unless they're somehow going to grab Robbie Ray or some other guy, the Mets, they have to be aggressive. Right now, your pitching is very, very, very limited. I love Lindor. He's got the New York mentality. Yeah. Hopefully he could just step up offensively. Sports fan says Eppler got handed a team with Pujols and the Hamilton contract and an owner that forced him to sign players. Guys will probably completely be different on the Mets. Yeah, I agree with you on that. You know what? Anaheim is it's a different market. That's the thing is, like I said, you can get these guys from nobody organizations. They could mean absolutely nothing. And they could be amazing, or you can get the best GMs out there. You could be getting huge guys. And it just really depends how you think and how smart you are. That's my saying. Eric, what's going on? He says, I feel like Eppler's conference went well today. Now he just needs to act on what he said. I agree with you. Pepper, I'm guessing you're saying Eppler. It looks like Brian Salin, if you know who that is. I do not know who that is. Sorry. Liked and shared. Appreciate you tuning in, Mr. Brandon. Brios extension was bussin', says Elliot. Yeah, Elliot. The Jose Brios got extended. I want to say it was like 6 years, like 170 something million. Yeah, I think it was a pretty solid extension. I think for the most part. Obviously they were a team that needed pitching. The Blue Jays, they weren't really getting much pitching. Offensively, this team was here. Offensively, they were elite. They have their offense. Vlad Jr., Lourdes Gurriel Jr., Bo Bichette. Hopefully, Kevin Biggio should be returning. Bo Bichette. Marcus Semien had an MVP season. This team really, really was here to stay offensively. For the pitching, Hyun-Jin Ryu had a down year. That's stated. If he can come back, be a top 5 Cy Young guy, if they re-sign Robbie Ray, personally, I don't think I personally don't know if Robbie Ray is going to have another good season. Hopefully, we know that he's been changing a lot of stuff mechanically, and that's good. Good. You like to see a change in mechanics, and that really helps a lot of guys. So yeah, we've been seeing a change in mechanics from him. Otherwise, we saw they got Steven Matz, helped them out the first half. They got Robbie Ray, helped them out big time. They got Barrios at the trade deadline, which really helped them out. And you know what? It makes sense that you're going to extend Barrios. I mean, you gave up so much for him. I don't know what they gave up off the top of my head. I mean, Elliot, if you could tell me in the chat who they gave up for and how many years it was, that'd be appreciated. But yeah, I mean, what you gave up for him was really a lot. So it would really be unfortunate for the Mets, honestly, to just really throw for the Blue Jays to just really honestly throw that away. So yeah, otherwise we're just gonna have to see how that goes. I bet you are right Hayden, about Robbie Ray. Yeah, we'll see. Should the Mets bring back Steven Matz? No. And I see Robert also commented that. Will you bring back Matz? The thing is, Steven Matz, I really question. I easily feel he can be a good pitcher just outside of New York. I just feel he's not a guy that could perform under New York. He's a guy who has a lot of temperament issues. We see whenever he gives up hits or whatever, pretty much things that he doesn't like. We'll see him scream. We'll see him, throw his hat, kind of like a Jeff McNeil, and it doesn't work. Look what Jeff McNeil did this season. It does not work. He needs to relax. He had a good first half in Toronto, not the best second half in Toronto. Hopefully he could try and see, change his style. I wouldn't bring him back. I get it. He's a lefty. The Mets want lefties. Personally, this is what I would do in terms of lefties. Bring back Luke, and I'd sign Rich Hill. I would re-sign Rich Hill, and Rich Hill could easily be a bullpen guy. He could easily go an inning to 3 to 4 innings in the bullpen. He could eat up innings. Nice lefty. You can't use him as a starter, or you could, but it'll only give you 3-4 innings, which makes more sense to put him in the bullpen. Luke, Rich Hill, that looks good. I understand. Yes, if you want to get another lefty arm, that's fine. But Rich Hill is also manageable. And I think, bullpen management is going to be much, much, much different this season. Whose idea was it for Ohtani to lift weights last winter? Whoever said that deserves an award. Yeah, whoever said that Ohtani should lift weights definitely does deserve an award. Here, I can't really... Everyone's having a conversation in the chat. I can't see... Damn it. Here, just halt up on the conversation for 1 second, guys, because I can't see the questions. All right. I'm really confused. I thought Syndergaard both wanted the qualifying offer. Yeah, me too. I thought that the Mets, Noah Syndergaard and Noah Syndergaard's free agent, wanted that qualifying offer. But you know what? I guess not. My Angels do anything else yet? Jose, yeah, not really for the most part. You got Noah Syndergaard, and otherwise, that's... I'm trying to think. I don't think they did anything. You got Noah Syndergaard. You gave up a second-round pick. Anything else? I'm trying to think. I don't think they signed anyone else, did they? I feel like they did, but maybe they did. Maybe it was a minor sign. Oh, no, it's Tucker Barnhart. Never mind. Yeah, it's the Tigers. Mr. Brandon says, Hayden, you were wearing the wrong hat. I'm so confused. I know. I'm Phillies Talk with Hayden today. I know. I am Phillies. Ibindo says, would you rather the Mets go after free agents or have one trade to acquire a guy like Chapman, Reynolds, or Basset? I'd rather the Mets honestly go after free agents. Pretty much like I echoed before, trades means you have to give up some guys from the farm. I don't want the Mets to have to give up guys from the farm anymore. The Mets have, I mean, honestly, in my opinion, do not have the best farm system. They're ranked 22nd. Overall, yeah, Mets definitely got to build up their farm system, so I don't want to go for any trades. Brian Reynolds, yes, you could put him in center field. He's great. Basset gives you some pitching. Chapman definitely gives you some good defense, questionable offensively. I would rather go after free agents than have one big little blockbuster trade because, we saw what happened last year. I think the Mets farm system definitely got shrunken down, and I think, it looks good now because the Mets have 6 extra round picks. The Mets have 6 round picks, so that's good. Christopher says still at work, but dropped in for a bit. Let's go Mets, of course. Thank you for triggering. Of course, man. Of course. I had to change it. Yeah, no, I put it up. Glad to have you here, though, Brooklyn Mets. Appreciate you tuning in, brother. But yeah, if you guys have any comments, questions, and concerns, please feel free to drop them below. Only baseball related. That's all we're talking in the chat and on the stream today. Baseball, 30 Major League Baseball teams. Let's talk about it. Nothing else. Let's go Mets. You have my attention for baseball only for the next, I don't know, we'll stay on here for a little bit. Mets fan, what's going on? Appreciate you tuning in, buddy. He says, my standards for Eppler, don't be drunk. That is true. As long as Eppler doesn't commit some crime or, anything completely outrageous, I think he should be fine. Like we said, they're yeah, I don't know. We're going to have to see. LFGM. Alsmus, you want him, Hayden, or no? I'm going to have to decline on that. From pretty much a lot of people I've spoken with, pretty much have stated that he would not be the best fit in New York. He was with the Tigers for 3-4 years, I want to say, and he, whatchamacallit, and he obviously was with the Tigers for 3 to 4 years, and then he was with the Angels for, I want to say, a year. Obviously, my big worry is that, look what happened to him. We saw what happened to him. He had 2 good seasons, and then he went to the Angels and went completely kaputskis. From what I've heard, he is terrible with bullpen management. He can't do anything right, and yeah, we're going to leave it at that. Trey says Mets need to spend a ton of money on free agents, or are we going to back to the same thing, which is losing? Nah, $85 million seems a lot. So Elliot says, yes, 7 million. Okay, good. Okay. So yeah, so it was 7 years. My apologies. Brooklyn Mets says, I would not blame Eppler for working with a wannabe. Yeah, listen, dude, I don't agree with you. I agree with you. Obviously, I wouldn't want to work with Sandy Allison either. And this is what I say. Sandy Allison, he's a guy 20 years ago. Listen, I get it. Moneyball, 2000, 2001, he helped with the A's with Billy Beane. I get that. But baseball has evolved so much then. So much then that, I just think it's completely different. It's completely different how you want to spend money. Yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah. You have a Phillies mat on your door. Trey says, would love Buck and Beltran bench coast to gain experience and take over in a few years when Buck is done. Yeah, I wouldn't mind Beltran, not so much Buck Showalter. Absolutely not. I feel he's very outdated. And he's been out of the game for a while. I don't trust him. I'm not super big on him. Trying to think. Beltran is a guy. The coaching experience is something I question. Otherwise, maybe he could definitely be a manager down the line. But yeah, if you guys have any final questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to drop them. Probably going to call it a stream shortly. Travis, what's going on? Appreciate you tuning in, brother. Great stream. Appreciate it, Kobe. I hope Eppler can get Scherzer. Yeah, personally, I don't think Max Scherzer is going to stay. I don't think Max Scherzer is obviously going to stay. I don't think he's going to go to the Mets. I think he'll stay with the Dodgers. Yeah, I think he'll go to the Dodgers. I think he'll re-sign with the Dodgers. It makes the most sense. Who's your number 1 free agent on the market? Obviously, Carlos Correa, I believe, is the number 1 free agent on the market. Yeah. Phillies talk with Hayden, absolutely. LFGM. Brett Beatty needs to be promoted to an degree. Yeah, I mean, Brett Beatty definitely can. I mean, he should be called up in 2022, I believe. I mean, what we've been seeing out of Brett Beatty, whatever, however you pronounce his last name, has been astonishing. I think he's like 22 years old. And that's the thing about the Mets is they need to start calling up their prospects much younger. I'm tired of seeing, the Mets have 27, 26, 25-year-old rookies. I want to see the Mets bring up Juan Soto, 19-year-old, 20-year-old Bryce Harper type of guys. I'm not saying they're going to be those type of players, just in terms of the age. That's what I want to start seeing. Overall, I really think he can get promoted soon to AAA, if that's what you're asking. Absolutely. In terms of Major League Baseball, maybe not this season. We'll have to see. Should the Rays give Wander Franco a huge contract? Yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely doable. Obviously, it would beat Acuna's $100 million contract. I saw that on MLB Network earlier. And that's the thing. Like I stated, money is so much more different. We didn't see these huge contracts 10 years ago. 5 years ago, if even. All these contracts are so recently. The Trout was like 2019. The Harper was 2018. Machado was 2018. Lindor was last year. I mean, Rendon was 2 years ago. Like, we don't see it anymore. So realistically, yeah, I mean, if the Rays are willing to give the money, we'll see how the CBA goes. They'll luckily get rid of the luxury cap. That's not the Rays' concern, though. Just saying. I really think it could help out. So, yeah. Appreciate you guys tuning in. We probably are going to call it a stream here. I do appreciate you guys tuning in. As always, I did upload 3 videos this week. I will repeat them one more time. Robinson Cano, 3 things you can do with him. The news on Noah Syndergaard. And, of course, the news on Billy Eppler. So if you guys want, please feel free to check them out. Good stream. Appreciate it. See ya. Eppler needs to get 2 long relievers to keep the bullpen fresh. If not, bullpen will be dead by September. Absolutely. Our relievers, that's the thing about the Mets this season. Our pitching, our bullpen was solid in the first half. They weren't being overworked. Aaron Loop carried the bullpen. Guys like Familia, a lot of our pitching staff were pretty adequate in the first half. Until DeGrom got hurt, that got rid of a lot of innings. And, of course, the absences. You had Carrasco only go 2-3 innings in games. So it really started to tire out our bullpen, make them fatigue. Familia is a guy, for example, like that. So, yeah, I agree with you. So, yeah, probably going to call it a stream here. Like I said, everyone, please feel free to check out those videos. If you are new to the channel, please feel free to smash that like button. Turn on those post notifications, subscribe to the channel, tell your friends about this channel. We're almost at 500 subs, so I really do appreciate you guys tuning in. It definitely means a lot. Channel is growing very well. Hopefully we can get to 500 subs very, very, very soon. Otherwise, that's it for me. Let's go Mets. I mean, let's see what the Mets can do. Let's go Mets. That's really all I got for you guys. Till next time, baseball fans, see ya.